Tales from the Crib is the second segment of the 8th episode of the 8th season of Arthur, and I rather like this one. I feel like it really would appeal to the youngest viewers of Arthur, not necessarily the target audience, but I think at some point it's definitely something we've all been able to relate to. I personally don't have this recollection. In this episode, Visita, their next door neighbour, has just found out that her parents have dismantled her crib and that they've ordered her a big girl bed, and she's distraught. And we have this really beautiful sequence, right at the beginning, actually, where DW's making a documentary, if you like, a parody of Cribs, where Visita's telling about all the wonderful things about her crib, and it's really sweet. And it did make me think it must feel wonderful to be inside a cot, because you've got the safety of the bars, everything's comfortable. I can't remember it. I have no recollection of ever being inside a cot or a crib. But DW is there, and she, being a tiny bit older than Visita, is able to tell Visita about the time that she had to change from a crib to a big girl bed. And we have this really brilliant scene in the bed store where we have her parents desperately trying to get DW to take an interest in any of the beds. And she finally finds a bed that meets her needs. And I never really thought about that before. Obviously, there are a lot of really fun children's beds. There are a lot which have slides for slightly older children and beds in the shape of race cars and things. And it never really occurred to me that they're not just fun, they're also there as a bribe. To bribe children to using their big girl or big boy bed because it's more fun than a crib or a cot. And that just gave me some food for thought that I'd never really considered before. So I don't think anybody watching this, I don't think anybody young enough to be transitioning from a cot to a big child bed would really be watching Arthur. But if they are, that's definitely going to provide some kind of comfort. But I think there's also an element of relatability there too. Plus, change is just never pleasant at any age. And I think anybody who gets a new bed, it's a bit awkward. Also very fun though. I did have a bed, not with a slide, but it had that, the pull-out desk and the drawers underneath, and they're definitely fun creations, and I rather enjoy that a lot. I don't think it's acceptable to sleep in that kind of bed as an adult, but I would definitely have one with a slide if I could. So there are always times when you need to transition from something as you're growing up, but there are different ways of looking at it, and it definitely provides some reassurance, I think. But ultimately, I just enjoyed the episode. I thought it had a good narrative structure. It was very moving, and as I said, provided me with a little bit of food for thought as well. Tales from the Crib is definitely a pretty good episode.